here.
Yeah, it says nice.
Stuff that never changed.
Stuff that hasn't changed.
I think
Did we skip over the second?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big one. Gear, mindset, training, and mission changes.
We can't skip over that.
I think mindset's probably the most important in that.
I think mindset-wise, one thing that carried over from your generation easily, obviously, persistently, to mine was the mindset of fundamentals. Like, don't be fancy, just be fundamental. Training as realistic as possible. But I don't know. I didn't do this when I was Troop Star Major, but Byron sure did. Full kit was full kit with Byron. Slick was just no assaulter gloves.
You had everything else, but your
gloves.
You didn't have to wear your gloves. That was slick.
Slick was no
Thank
assaulter
you for not doing that to us, Jimmy.
Yeah.
So we did PT on Fridays. It was troop PT to include the snipers. So Recce was with us, and it was always full kit, unless it was really hot and it was slick. No gloves. We had everything else.
Yeah.
Man alive.
That's the thing. That's legends.
That's mindset stuff.
That's right. That's mindset stuff right there. And it comes from that generation. So you remember Perry Bear, right? So I grew up in the Perry Bear when he was an A15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was team sergeant on 1-4.
I don't even think I knew he was in the company.
Yep. Him, Brad Guile, Ed Smith. Ed Smith was at SOT Sephardic.
I think he's still down.
He was my team sergeant on 1-6.
He's a
those
good
guys. That mindset is what I grew up with, right there.
Yeah.
You know, and train as realistic as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
As possible.
Right.
The hard part is during that time frame, we weren't doing anything. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
We had nothing to go do, especially because we weren't a SIF at the time.
Right.
You know, so we were just doing normal SF stuff, but knew we were going to be that eventually. So it was really hard. But
how did that come about? If you like, I'd love to dive into that. So you guys,
we did have 2 SOT teams in A15.
Okay.
It was 1-1 and 1-6. And so when I guess JSOC was like, hey, we need other SIFs, you know, besides C37, you know, 5th group needs theirs.
Right.
And they said, well, there's 2 SOT companies or 2 SOT teams in A15, and everybody in those teams are SOT qualified, so that stands a better chance that they would be more suited for that.
So that was a white side MTO thing. So
yes,
you have 2 direct action teams.
Correct.
But the thing of it is, on the white side, like when I got to my first company, both of those teams were what we refer to as ghosted, because we, 1, from manning, and 2, didn't have ammo to train those teams. So, but they stood up shortly thereafter, but they weren't designated as direct action teams. They were obviously, one of them was like the ASOT guys, which is a great team. 1-1 and then 1-6, also a great team. They were more kind of put into that role, however, but I don't think anybody on that team was Sephardic qualified. But yeah, okay, so that makes sense. I got you.
Yeah, so naturally, when they said, hey, they got to have a SIF there, there's like, well, let's just make it A15, and then they sent us all. Of course, the 2 SOT teams had to train everybody up because we were familiar with what was going to happen, especially in the first 2 weeks. That's the hardest part.
Flat range.
It's not the one that will get you kicked out faster, but it's the hardest part to learn.
Yeah.
Right? The CQB will get you kicked out faster.
Yeah, of course.
So we go through as a company, we do a train up. We do like a month train up prior to going there. And then we get out there and we're actually kicking ass pretty good as a unit. Yeah. It wasn't until poor Rob Smalley, my 18 Delta on my team, goes into a room and goes around a desk in the middle of a room. He goes into the room. His last room he would go into in Sephardic, and he went into the middle. He didn't go in the middle. He just went around it instead of stopping short.
Right.
He went around it instead, kicked him out. Even though it was the last room he was going to do CQB in.
Wow,
And I think they were kind of looking for that because they couldn't dime us on anything.
Sure.
Right.
You know, we did a long train up prior to this, and they were kind of, and it was an extra class added onto their workload, the Range 37 workload.
Understand.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense? They were like,
Yeah.
oh, we got an A15 class. We're like, we just finished a class. We got another class now. And
Roll
I
it
think
right
they
back
were
into
kind of
it.
looking for us at that time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been.
Yeah, I mean, I was a phase one instructor for a couple of years prior to that, and or after that rather. And if they'd have dumped another
Yeah.
phase
that's what
one
I'm saying.
class on us, the 2 months in the woods, I'd have been a little pissed off too. I
Yeah,
guess.
right. Yeah. Gear.
Wow.
All right, so gear. The one thing you might have seen. There's some drawings out there. Who's the guy that used those black and white drawings of?
Oh, Stifler.
No, not Stephen. Not those drawings. Those are great drawings.
Those are great
That's a collection, right?
You're talking
he's
about Dietz?
No. The guy from Fifth Group that does.
Oh,
this.
yeah.
When we first started off as SOT teams, when it came to gear, first it started off with M16s, of course. We had M16s, not M4s. And we had 4 and 5 cell mag
Maglights.
Maglights.
Mm-hmm.
What's that fucking
Hose clamped.
to your gun?
Yeah.
Because it's not an aiming device; it's just a light. Of course, they would always come loose while you're, after your first couple of shots and stuff like that. So that's the stuff we had to do. And Ranger body armor,
RBA. I had one too.
RBAV.
Heavy stuff. Stuff. That's the type. And what's it? Eagle. The Eagle, black mesh stuff. That's actually pretty good gear.
The vest.
Yeah, I actually like that vest a lot.
Did you?
Come on. That's what's up. Let's bring it back.
That's some GSG9 stuff.
Well, yeah. What were the Adidas? Remember
GSG9.
GSG9s?
Yes, I remember those. I remember
Those were issued, were they?
No, not
I got those at Jason.
They were issued somewhere.
I got those when I was at Bragg, and I
wore
didn't.
High-Techs.
I wore them a little bit, but maybe like 10 years ago, I found them.
What?
Yeah, and the soles, like if you just hit them like that, they would just,
Dry rotting.
Yeah.
Dang, dude. Those
And
are
we had
dope.
big drop leg holsters.
I still eBayed them for a lot of money.
What was it? The canvas or nylon drop leg holsters.
Black Hawk.
Black Hawk
Yeah,
holsters.
those things,
Yeah, with the mag on the front
Yes,
of the
on the front,
holster.
on the front.
Let's
Exactly.
go, dude.
It had the Velcro strap over the
Yeah.
top to hold the.
And you had to get that second strap just above the knee so you could reach it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, we had what we had, Sarge.
I was running the same stuff, man. Back then. Yeah.
Totally. I look at some of those old pictures. I'm like, gosh,
Bro.
I was running 7 mags in 04. 1 in the gun, 6 in the chest.
Let me tell you guys real quick.
L4, L5, L5S.
This is a gear related story. I was, so when I first showed up, I was in Alpha Company 2nd Battalion. Well, we had the commandos when you guys had ICTF. So we were doing a lot of the BP stuff for you guys and all that stuff. I pull up to Raptor over on Area 4 in the trucks, and I was like, man, our trucks are cool. Pull up, your guys' trucks are sick, and I see my man has one catcher shin guard on.
It's Mike.
Bro,
I also wore them.
Did you?
Yes, I wore them.
yeah.
I was like, these dudes are the coolest humans alive. Right? I was like, bro, I've got to get over it. That shin guard made me want to come to the company because I'm a baseball guy, man.
Sure.
You know?
So I remember Mike running those too.
That was like,
I went through SOT, and after the first couple of, in week three, when we started the CQB, I bashed my shin going over a ledge because we used to ascend with assaulters would pull you up, and I bashed my shins and raked them across the corner of a building going up.
Felt great.
I went to Cross Creek that weekend, Cross Creek Mall or that area, and found those and wore those all the way through until I retired.
I thought in my brain, when I saw that, I was like, that guy does so many shotgun breaches and catches so much shrapnel there that he's like, put that on.
Yeah.
I'm like, had I had Amazon back then, guess what I'd have had? I'd have had them shin guards in country, dude. Like just out on a BP with a shin guard on, trying to be cool.
That's funny.
And when you really don't see what's below you as much. You can feel it, and you feel it with your shins as you're moving through furniture and shit like that too. It helped out a lot.
That's wild.
Catcher's shin guards.
Yeah, man. I saw that. I was like, yep. Those trucks were pimp too. But you guys had and I say this about all the tier 1 units or whatever, but you guys kind of had the leeway to do those things, to outfit things the way that you needed them, specific to the mission set that you had, because it was a very specific mission set at that time. It was just that. Yeah. And we were literally just as busy because we would hit targets simultaneously. Yes. We were in and out of Sauter City like every other night. You know what I mean?
We had the advantage, though, of having blue with us. Well,
white side.
I say white side blue.
Yeah.
I will say not an advantage, but we show up in our skeleton trucks on one deployment because we've taken over. I think we changed out with 7th Group, maybe, or I forgot who we changed out with. Because we had those skeletonized Hummers, so we could pack it full of people and guns, right?
Yeah.
And we get there, and the SEALs are like, no, we can't do that. We brought these vehicles. Let's modify these vehicles that we have, these up armor type vehicles instead. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Yeah. So we ended up having to do that.
Dude, to their credit, that trip, you're talking about getting in country November 05, Troop 1, right? And then prior to that, Troop 2 was there just before that. Yeah. So I was on both those trips momentarily. Obviously, I just went over the re-enlist. But, dude, to those dudes' credit, the very... frequently, I find the same SOP, mobility comms SOP for sure.
Oh, yeah.
In the entire SOF community. The majority of SOF community runs whatever SEAL Team 4's SOP was back then. That we learned from them on that trip. And it was like, this is the best mobility comms SOP.
Well, we just let them run that.
They were great at it.
Oh, really good.
We just did that down in... Remember? And it was the same thing, dude. Thing. I was like,
we did a contract together where a dev group prior, retired now, mobility dude was on that contract, specifically with his resume for the delivery that we were providing this unit for training. And dude pulled out the SOP. And I was like, yeah, I remember.
You're like, oh yeah, check.
I remember 20 years ago learning that from Whiteside SEALs, and it was the best. It's great.
It's great. That is the standard 100%.
They're awesome.
They were not afraid to use digital means, to navigate.
Right.
Yeah. Well, no, I laugh only because do you remember the target on that trip where the war pig went tits up on target and the sun came up on us? So in my office, there's a frame, 3 pictures, and it's me re-enlisting on target. And the GFC was Rich Roth.
Yeah,
right?
My team leader.
Yeah. And I went through Spartak with Rich. And I was a Troop 2 guy just there to re-enlist. But Frank Nash said, yeah, you still need to work. And I was like, all right. So, Byron and the other team sergeants would put me in the task org, mostly gunning and stuff like that. But I kept hounding Rich, before, as soon as everybody got, alerted to spin up a TST or whatever, I would look at Rich hey, need you to read me the oath and stuff on target tonight, if possible. And Rich being awesome at the time, he was like, if we have time. Well, I was unprofessional that night, and I came over on assault. And I was like, after I heard sector secure and everything was post assault was ongoing, I'm outside on cordon. I was like, hey, Rich, don't forget about me, it's Jimmy. And he kind of was like, can't, not tonight, dude, But then the next call was hey, the war pig's down.
Oh, you ain't going anywhere.
And I was like, Rich, what you say now, brother? So we did it out there. Pete Schichtel held the flag on one side. I forgot who the other guy was.
That was under nods too.
It was under nods. It was on target.
Very cool.
In the street. But the funny thing is that you just reminded me of is Travis Esterby was
Who is the Legion's Command Sergeant Major?
on the way out here. I was thinking about Travis, and I was like, you know what? I've never said it out loud, but like, as soon as Travis pinned E8, I was like, oh, he's gonna be the next Group Sergeant Major.
Really?
I said that in my head. I knew he would be that.
Yeah.
But point is, he was a ICTF recce guy with a SEAL named Kyle Bucket, and they as well would provide nav on all the targets. Aside from going out on CTRs, when there was a target, they would nav, right? And we went through the contingency of self-support, and I think Ben was the mobility guy that came out with a LMTV tow truck from Area 4. However, it was a downed Hemet that had 3 times as much weight to it with freaking AR 500 steel that
Wrapped it.
yeah, completely different vehicle.
Yeah.
So the LMTV, which this was a brief I made in ANOC. This was a brief, so I know all about this mission. But the point is, the LMTV showed up and it was like, yeah, that's not going to work. So then it went to like the C, which was 10th Mountain Division, coming with like a tank extractor level freaking thing. So the sun had come up on us. But the point is, digital navigation tools, right? Kyle Bucket and Travis had come up to me on the perimeter and was like, hey man, like, what's another route out of here? And I'd done so many CTRs,
Right.
the 2 years prior. So I did so many with Commando Scouts. And I did almost as many the following year with ICTF Recce that I did not need any of that shit. I was like, go down that traffic circle, in at 6, out at 9, you're going to see a freaking massive mosque. Turn right 1 block after that mosque. Turn right, straight shot to Irish, obviously go south, make a right, ECP1. Like I could talk through all that stuff, like visualizing that because I didn't need all that stuff. I had driven around that place so much. But like that guy, Kyle, who I ended up being in UAE with.
Really?
Yeah, he was like a platoon chief at that time, whatever. That dude, Kyle, was like, excuse me, what? And I was like, yeah, that's another way out of here.
Yeah.
You know? And Travis was like, we'll talk about it later, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a funny night, man. Crazy night.
Oh, all right. We just went mindset. That's we're at 53 minutes right now, and we've gone through 2.
You're welcome.
I love it. I love those.
Assaulter mindset. What defines an assaulter beyond gear?
What defines an assaulter beyond gear? Obviously, mentality.
Haircut. No.
No
Did I say that
haircut.
out
No
loud?
haircut ever.
Ever.
They are less diva-ish than the recce guys. They're a lot more durable on purpose, and it should be that way. The belly fighters, and I was
Jimmy.
Troop 1.
Jimmy.
The belly fighters, they need hotel rooms, bro.
Who are you right now?
I'm currently an assaulter mindset right now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Now, I think what defines it? That's a hard question to answer. I think it has a lot to do with just run it. Like,
I will.
we understand the problem.
2 words.
We understand the plan. Let's run it.
How grace.
Yeah.
That's the mindset of an assaulter right there.
Yeah.
Say that again, Brian.
Hal Grace, quintessential guy, I would think.
That guy that I wish you'd known Hal Grace.
Yeah.
That lived,
I met him once.
breathed CQB. You know what I mean? Or that mindset. Smart kid. I was his team sergeant for a minute. I was on team with him, then his team sergeant for a second. Then he went to 10th group. Yeah, I think he went to 10th
Came
group.
from 10th group.
I think he went back to 10th group.
Did he?
Then he went to work for.
He went to another government agency after DoD.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But that mindset that everything revolves around being an assaulter.
Yeah.
Everything is about that, and how you eat. Everything. Being able to climb a rope, 14 straight times without a break, that kind of stuff. That's the
I
mentality.
understand that
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
He was nimble, and this is another thing that I was always a fan of nimble assaulters. Yes, if you go up to the company right now, the unit, you'll see some big human beings.
Oh, yeah.
Big, fast, scary dudes.
Yes. But nimble assaulters,
Yeah.
they're the ones you want for hostage rescue.
Yeah.
You know,
1,000%.
in my opinion, you know, they are the ones that get, you know, come in like ants on a sugar cube onto a building, you know.
That's
Yeah.
I think from a mindset standpoint, that's exactly what it is. You have to understand that the position you're in, you are a protector of your mates and a sacrifice of yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. You are hunting for your mates, and in the event you have to sacrifice yourself, you've already made that decision that's it. You know what I mean? That's the mindset. You're like, I'm hunting for my mates, and in the event that costs me this, I've made that sacrifice already.
You know, and the fastest way to do that is to hear gunfire.
Oh yeah.
You'll never see enough.
You know who's in
who
and
the
who's
assaulters
out.
are. And
That's
who are
exactly it. You know who's in and who's out.
That's
right then, and
As soon as you hear
that's
gunfire.
it.
You know, and if you have a whole bunch of folks everywhere, as soon as you hear gunfire, you automatically know where it comes because everybody starts coming from every direction towards it.
Yeah.
That gunfire's that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it countless times. You know who it is and who it isn't.
Yeah.
And the guys and I don't hold anything against the guys that aren't. They do stuff for them, and you know they're contributing to the effort and all that stuff. But you know who the hunters are. Period.
That might have been the hardest part about being a troop sergeant major is like not controlling that intuition that you're describing.
Yeah.
And letting everybody go first. Because if like there's some people that we know that will tell you that when I first came back as a troop sergeant major, like, dude, I was too up front all the time. You know?
Yeah. Like people were asking you like, hey, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's several times where it's like AAR comment, like you can't.
Yeah,
like,
you're
you
not
still need
supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 05, 06, when I was a troop sergeant major during that rotation,
Yeah.
Brian David, remember Brian?
Of course.
In the talk, could sit there and watch Predator feed or AC-130 feed, and he could say, "Oh, that's Byron," because he could see me run/limping on the target, and I'm the last one in the gate.
Yeah.
And as soon as I enter the gate, you'll see people coming out of the very top of the structure, secure. I was always the last one there because I had a bad injury prior to that deployment, and I went anyway.
Yeah.
And but I was in the way. I was a liability. Even I'm not talking about the limping part. Yes, I'm an assaulter, but you know I got to see the big picture.
Of course.
You know, VDO. I'm the last guy to make sure we got everybody going. Then I'm going. That kind of thing. As a leader in that, you really need to let them do their jobs. You've already trained them. You got to see the big picture. As a matter of fact,
I think you have to do that as a cell leader to a degree as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, I don't have the experience of being a troop sergeant major or anything like that. But even as I said, like things that you guys are talking about, it's like you kind of have to take that's that throttle control I refer to. You know what I mean?
It's hard to supervise, in my opinion. When I was a cell leader, I was an ascend-descend cell leader. So the supervision part was
fun.
Like beyond critical.
Yeah.
So there was no leading from the front,
Yeah.
unfortunately, on that. Sometimes on the climbs, it'd be like, all right, watch, it can be done. Now follow me to do it. But,
But see, like as we're talking about mindset, I want to like say this out loud and make it very apparent that the things that we're saying, there are people out there, and you'll hear podcasts about it, and you'll see it on TV shows or whatever, that say the things that we're saying for the purpose of building themselves up or feeding their ego. That's not what we're saying.
Right.
That's just how you have to be. Like, I want that to come across authentic to people, to be like, hey, man, we're not just sitting here stroking our egos. Like, that's the reality of the situation. It takes people like that, like, that are really like that, not just talking, you know. You have to be a killer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
it's
I mean?
like committed aggression, and it's not just
Committed
exclusive.
aggression, that's great.
Yeah, it's not exclusive to A15. You know, there are, in my opinion, from the perspective of where I'm at now, seeing a lot of the soft community doing similar things, dude, it's everywhere. Like, there's different TTPs, different cultures, whatever, but that commitment to solving that problem is aggression, and that's a common intuition, I think, of assaulters, whether they're SEALs, Marines, Rangers, SF guys.
I say this, I'm glad you said that, because this brings me to a point. I literally had to make this to my youngest son. So my youngest son punch my oldest son. I get the phone call. Hey, you got to talk. And I told my son this probably wasn't the talk that he was expecting. The talk that he got was violence is always on the table. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's always on the table. You have that, you have the control. I was like, but when you exercise violence emotionally, you're not doing it correctly.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
I was like, you have to remove emotion from the act of violence because one, you're corrupting it and you're not going to perform at the top or to the level that you're capable of unless you remove the emotion from it. And that's what it is. And people look at it from a standpoint like that guy's really stoic or like, you know, it's not that. It's an exercise of it comes from in here. You know what I mean?
That's another delineator in my opinion. When I look at different assaulters, how well they control their emotions and how their aggression is appropriately exercised.
It's the throttle.
Right.
And a lot of it is exactly the throttle. You have to forget that last room because this is your next start.
Yeah.
This is your next thing.
1,000%.
Whatever happened in that last room is over with. Let's get on to the next one now.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And always
you're hungry. You're hunting for it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that we captured that really well. I just want to pat us all on the back on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, thanks, man. I needed that.
Yeah.